Hello and welcome to Exploring Christianity, a Journey of Faith. Today I want to talk with you about the tremendous freedom that I found in living for an audience of one. I came across this powerful idea in a seminary class in a book by Os Guinness called The Call: Finding and Fulfilling the Central Purpose of Your Life. Many of us go through our days and our lives performing for other people. We want others to think well of us, and so we live our lives performing for them. This starts with behaving well for our parents and then our teachers. And as we become aware of peer pressure, there become more and more people for whom we're performing. This doesn't go away as we mature into adults. We're likely still performing for our boss, our coworkers, our friends, and our neighbors. This is the core of the idea of keeping up with the Joneses. Sadly, a major stage on which many of us perform is our church. We want everyone to believe that we are good, obedient, devout Christians, even if we're not so sure of that ourselves. Or maybe especially if we're not so sure of that ourselves. We don't want our fellow Christians to judge us and find us lacking. At least this has definitely been true for me. In contrast, the idea of an audience of one is the reminder that there is truly only one for whom we're performing. There is only one whose opinion matters, only one whose judgment of us matters, and obviously that's God. Let that sink in for a minute. It truly does not matter what anyone but God thinks of you. If God is pleased with you, how could it possibly matter if someone else finds you lacking? And God isn't just pleased with you, God loves you more than you can possibly comprehend. God made you just as you are, and I believe that God knew exactly how you were going to turn out before God made you. If God wanted you to be different than you are, God could easily have made you that way. That isn't to say that God won't work in you to grow you, but it's not the case that God won't love you until you have grown into your full potential. As the great phrase goes, God loves you just the way you are and too much to leave you that way. Take this even a step further. It does not even matter what you think of you. I find sometimes the main person that I'm performing for is myself. I have an image of how I should be, and no one critiques my performance more harshly than I do when I fall short of that vision. I'll look at myself and judge that I am insufficient in some way. Too lazy, fat, dumb, old, weak, disobedient, critical, selfish, or whatever. But if God loves us just as we are, really what right do we have to judge that God is wrong? If there's something about me that I would like to be different, I can certainly pray that God works in me to change it, but that doesn't mean that I should judge myself as lacking. I am not the judge. I am not the audience. In everything you do and in everything you are performing for God alone. I've heard that some people object to this way of thinking because they think it will make us lazy and more disobedient. After all, if God's opinion of me is the only one that matters, and God will love me no matter what I do or who I am, then why should I strive to be good? Why should I strive to please God? My answer to that might surprise you. I would say that we shouldn't strive to be good and we shouldn't strive to please God. The greatest commandment does not say that we should obey God with all of our hearts, mind, soul, and strength. It says that we should love God with all of our hearts, mind, soul, and strength. Living our life performing for God alone is not like performing in front of a panel of judges to be admitted to Juilliard, where every false step could be harshly critiqued and anything short of a stellar performance will keep you from being admitted. Performing for God is like a 2-year-old doing a dance recital with his parents and grandparents in the audience cheering wildly for him and being ecstatically joyful over every step he takes. Similarly, if we offer every step up to God as an offering of love, even the steps that are wobbly and in the wrong direction, over time God will use our love to teach us how to perform beautifully the dance that God choreographed just for us. Holiness and obedience will flow from that love in ways that no amount of our striving could ever have achieved. God is the potter and we are the clay. We don't get to be both the potter and the clay. We don't get to mold ourselves into the shape we think we should have. I can only manage to live for the audience of one for a few moments here and there. But even from those first wobbly steps, I can tell that this way of living leads to life and joy, purpose and freedom. And I know that living for the broader audience of all of the people around me leads to exhaustion and shame, judgment and repeated failure. Now your turn. What do you think about the idea of performing for an audience of one?